Alright, here we are with Ravnica, Dogs in the Guild Pact. Season 1 outro.
Yeah.
Ian.
I'm Ian, the referee, and we have explained why.
Peter as Idris from the Boros Legion and House Demir.
Devin as Kuro Kagamaru of the Orzhov Syndicate.
And Nicole is Gato of the Cult of Rakdos.
Awesome. Okay, so for this game we used dogs as the system.
And Ravnica as the setting.
And Ravnica as the loose setting sort of thing.
How do people like it?
I like it. I like dogs really well. It worked. It did exactly what we wanted. It's a solid system. And yeah, Ravnica was good. It's, you know, the one magic setting that everyone wants to be turned into an RPG. And it was.
I disagree or whatever. I did not like the system at all. It made fights terrible, and like we were always losing, even though we always won. I don't know how to
What?
say
We weren't always losing.
No, like I know we were always winning, but like I don't like how it's. I don't like the fact that you can never tell what the fuck is going to happen. Do they have like 50,000 other dice in the sidelines? Probably. I don't. I used all my dice. They probably have a million more. I don't like.
Well, that's just Ian's terrible GM.
Whoa!
No, it's not.
Just because I didn't want to show you their entire stat block.
Well, no, like usually in most games it doesn't matter if you can't see the NPC's entire stat block. In fact, it's better if you don't. But for this, it was really annoying because you could never even tell. Even close to like how much longer is this fight gonna go?
I don't know if the asymmetricity is intentional. I'd have to reread the book to figure out if we're supposed to give like everyone stat blocks so you actually know what to expect.
Yeah.
But in this event, the asymmetry of the combat meant that you had to have a layer of tacticalness when you were playing. There had to be, you had to play it a bit safe and have decisions you were making.
I think, to be honest, the way I read it the first time, and I could be mistaken, is you guys aren't supposed to see any of their stats at all, because it's again similar to a poker kind of a style where they raise you counter, so on and so forth. And as Devin says, it's a very tactical. How much dice do they have left? What numbers do they have left? Whereas we were kind of doing a mix of the two, where you saw kind of their current stuff.
Yeah.
And then they had a little bit in reserve every now and then.
I don't like that though. I like the other systems we use that are way more
Fair
narrative
enough.
and like blah blah blah. I don't like having to be tactical with the numbers of the system in order to play the game.
I would say that the system lacked like some small thing, like, oh, I want to shove the guard out, like, oh, either we enter a full-on conflict with them,
Or you just do it.
yeah, or we just do it. There's no way for like, oh, I want to be flashing with that, or like, oh, if there's some like doubt or how much resources do we want to expend getting to that, final boss, for example.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of an issue. So there's like no in between. Either you're going on full on, this is a big showdown, or you just do it.
I will say this, for new GMs or new referees out there, it's a really, really nice system because it allows you the capability to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to let my PCs do that. Like, why can't you just go through that door? Why does it need to be a big deal? Why does it need to be anything? And then when you want a conflict, you can make little things bigger conflicts, and it allows the, my position to just be like, oh, I'm going to make this bigger or this smaller, and a lot of flexibility from this seat where, yeah, it's I agree with Nicole saying it's weird numbers and it's weird tactical dice thing, but it's kind of streamlined because I'm not dealing with you guys being like, okay, from Exalted where I shoot and I know I'm gonna do 3d8 damage, or I'm gonna do this much, like 4 hit points of damage, or I'm guaranteed to do that, and you need to roll above this number to hit me. We all kind of start at the same, and in my case, when you're generating character like NPCs for this game, you get a lot of spare dice that you can use as at your discretion, it basically says. And so there were times where, I rolled a lot of ones, and so I used a number of those discretionary dice just to bulk that character up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or there were times where I rolled really high and I'm like, no, I'm not going to use those discretionary dice because that's just silly, and I would instantly win the fight. Like I knew more or less whether or not you guys were going to win the fight or not going into the fight, which gave me a little bit of control for how the narrative flowed, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, well, it's like that means you have to correct the system in order to get the results you expect, which means
But again, for a new person, like I'm not fully new to running campaigns, but for a new person running a campaign, this is a really easy system to just jump in, and you can tell your characters you can be anything you want, and they just get dice to it. You can have flying, magic, fish people. You can have telekinetic powers. You can do literally anything you want in this system.
Yeah, that's one part I did like about this, and also the persona system we used, which
I wasn't in that, but I heard you guys have talked about it, so I've heard.
Like, I have a feeling that Chubos, which I think will be the next game we'll be trying, might scale the same ways, that it's very flexible, and it also doesn't have this weird system in it, so
yeah,
I'm thinking that might be a bit better. And similarly, like for what we've been doing, I almost say something like Fellowship might be also like way more convenient, because like it's quick, it's flexible, you can do all of this stuff. So you can do big stuff, you can do small conflicts, and there's like, expended resources is an actual in-game thing. I guess the only thing that Fellowship as it is right now will be missing is a framework that's not just, you have to go out against one big bad, otherwise this doesn't work, because this is the only framework we have, but maybe sometime in the future that will be addressed. Because the last thing I didn't like about the system was the progression. It was like...
Yeah.
Sure, there's a little bit of being tactical about it, that the system encourages you to start off diplomatic, because that's how you get the best outcomes.
You need to roll, what you're saying is you need to roll a 1 on your consequences in order to quote-unquote level. And
it's a lot easier with D4s, which is what you get to roll if you're social.
The game is geared for non-violent conflict resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is cool that it encourages you to be social, but also every single time you're rolling consequence dice, you get one long-term consequence and one growth.
Or
that happens to be every single time. And it's like...
Yeah, and there's, again, a lot of lack of like Nicole, I think you had more or less a similar amount of long-term consequences, which is pretty much level down, and advancement would level up, so you pretty much just shift your numbers around.
Yeah, like I never leveled up. I never got more powerful.
Okay. This is something I keep hearing from people. It's not about leveling up and getting a net gain. It's about shifting the numbers around. Chubos has kind of the same thing, whereas your characters grow, old things that you don't use as much trail off and get forgotten, and new things get stronger. You're not supposed to look for gain away scot-free. God damn it. It's like, if you're using your axe powers all the time, you can only go so high, but then the advancements lets you make them stronger, and more weighty in the narrative, in the rolls. Whereas, like, if you haven't used your button collecting in a while, it just naturally drops off because it's not important to the character. There's kind of a curve that your characters stay on.
Except for it's not anything like that, because every single time I leveled up, I had to both drop something permanently and level something up.
Yeah, I did too, but...
It was never stuff I hadn't been using. It was, hey, this is happening every session. I have to get rid of shit that I want to use.
I was losing stuff every level up as well, and I dropped stuff I wasn't using. You know, the card sharking went down. I got rid of items. I never brought my pager once, so I got rid of that. It helps you focus the character on what's actually coming up.
Yeah, the menu will be, I guess.
It's like, sorry, you do your thing. I'll tell mine out.
It might be like a bit of like when we played, was it Star Trek Adventures, where like your lower level ups are you can get to shift stuff, and then if you save up enough, you get to advance. So it's like you're not sort of like being punished for.
Yeah,
I
you're
see.
where you are, and the game just lets
Yeah.
you focus in. The analogy would be screenwriting, where it's like, if you give someone like someone brought this up, where it's like if you have a script handed in and you ask them to cut, 20% of it, it makes for a tighter script. That's what the level up thing does. It lets you cut the fat and focus it on the stuff that matters, and that happens every time you advance.
And I think if we hadn't known this, like, post this season, you guys would make drastically different characters, and I think it would run a little different because you would know kind of what that level up is all about.
But also, that only works if you have things you're not using.
There's definitely
I was using everything except for one thing the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus
No,
also.
there's definitely stuff in your character sheet that you don't use as much as others that wouldn't suffer from like taking a downgrade or anything.
The only thing is that I can get people to admit their deepest desires. That's the only thing I wasn't using. And that's it. So
And
the
stuff.
only way that it's, you're dropping stuff that doesn't matter is if you've made a shit character to begin with stuff that doesn't matter, or you...
Or your character changes over the
Characters change over time, bud. So, like, one of your powers you're not using as regularly, it's okay to drop the dice down or drop the number of dice from it in exchange for powering up the stuff you're using much more commonly.
But also, at the same time, the advancement is a chance, so you might, like, hey, in the 3 sessions, I've lost 3 of my stats.
That's
I
true.
have gained nothing.
Yeah.
No, that's very true.
Plus also, even if you're doing, I'm gaining 1, I'm losing 1, humans are loss averse.
Oh,
so,
God, right?
so-
Jesus Lord.
so losing 1 point feels a lot
Yeah.
more substantial than you gaining.
It
1
would
point
be
at the
much
same
better
time.
if you leveled twice, lost once or something every exit.
Oh yeah, and you could reframe it so it wouldn't trigger that thing in people, like it wouldn't trip
Yeah.
that thing where they're like, oh, this sucks. And
Like-
it would be the same system and it'd be fine.
Or it could be like, hey, you get to add 1 point and you get to shift 1 point, and that will be like, oh, okay, I'm not losing, I'm
Yeah.
just moving it. And well, that would be like an option, say, you get to shift things, not necessarily forcing you, maybe.
Also, shifting things is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I also get to
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
You're
get
right.
why you're saying me wanting to get stronger as a character wouldn't be a good thing.
Because the characters don't really get stronger, they just change and focus.
Yeah.
Honestly, if the advancement, instead of it being a chance to get an advancement and a chance you couldn't get it, you could get like a permanent loss was taken out, and replace it with, an advancement is just you shifting the character around a little. That
Yeah.
do it. That fixes
That-
Also,
that
that
pretty
runs
much-
counter to how we always game, in the way that the way we always game is you're always allowed to shift your character around at any time whenever you want.
Well, we're not talking
So,
about how we game,
it's
buddy. We're
really-
talking about
The
the
system.
Yeah.
So the system grates against that for me because it's the opposite of how we normally game.
It's fair.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so.
But we are very relaxed in gaming in that regard. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who game similarly, who they're like, this doesn't quite work with my character. I'm going to move some points around here and there. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't like that because they feel, once they've made something, they kind of lock it in, and that's...
Yeah, I know. People are like,
That's-
we got to keep everything from like the previous things. It's like,
Yeah,
I
and
don't really-
that's fine. If that's your play style, that's fine, but it's not really how we run. And
especially because the build packages are so diverse, it
Yeah.
ends up kind of balanced up in the long run anyway. Like some packages give you way more dice, like spread out, and some don't. So by the time you go through a few advancement cycles, you're all basically pushing around the same area still anyway.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it-
I guess, like, for me, at best, the system, like, doesn't necessarily get in the way of what we're doing, but
yeah,
from a good system, I expect it to be helping
it
us.
forward?
Yeah, push
Yeah.
it forward, help us
yeah,
make the game more interesting, and it being interesting itself. Like, this is at most like, you can do whatever, and I'm like, it
and
doesn't grab me really.
see, that's why I think
Yeah, that's true.
it's-
Like that's kind of the new standard too. Like we are so used with systems that just stay out of the way. Okay, so the 3 tiers we keep talking about are systems that get in the way, like Exalted 3rd Edition, like everything published by Onyx Path Publishing and Wizards of the Coast. Every system they've ever published gets in the way of role-playing and actually running the game. None of the mechanics push you forward, none of them actually pushes a narrative. And there's that middle tier we've started to get more fun with, where like the system just at a carbon neutral, stays out of our fucking way when we're doing the actual heavy lifting. Godbound's a little bit like that. Godbound Star Wars numbers stay out of the way. They don't fucking get underfoot. They let us actually run the game we want to run. And they don't trip us up. But, like, I think we're done with that, and we're much more along the lines of, like, Fellowship, where it's like, Fellowship actively pushes us towards the narrative we were playing anyway, and actually makes it more enriching. So, like, we want that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dogs, I definitely agree, is in that middle bracket, where it's like, it doesn't get in the way, good for it.
And that's why I think it's
40
a good...
years of game design.
That's why I think it's a good thing for, like, beginners to just kind of...
I mean,
whip out, play a little bit with it, and
Yeah.
see, you know, it shows you some, you make up some narrative story, you and your friends have a little bit of fun, and test the waters, how you like gaming, and how you like role-playing. You know,
I mean, I'd say that for beginners it would
Really?
be an awful system because beginners don't really know what they want, and the system doesn't show them what they want.
No, but-
give them like,
I mean, it's better than D&D as a starting point.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm saying, yeah,
Come on.
it doesn't tell them what they want, but they can do, and like, I'm talking the beginners who are, you know, we want to go run through a dungeon, and then the, you know, referee is like, okay, there's a dungeon, and then the referee just sets up, you know, 6 rooms in a row
Yeah.
with different monsters in it, and
Or
everybody
If you
runs.
follow the battle group plans,
Yeah.
you give it a large dice pool and you make each room kind of its own dice set.
Yeah.
Because each room is a different part of the encounter.
Exactly. And then you just run through that, and everybody's rolling dice. You're learning, like, I'm talking a very basic beginner. Like, you're learning how to roll dice. You're learning a little bit of strategy of when to use different moves and different attacks. And again, it's really light on the person running it. It's a really simple system to run. It's very...
Yeah, and plus even the stuff folded into Dogs, like, gives you a bunch of, like, game primers anyway. Like, they have kits in there for a bunch of different stuff.
like also like the system uses like a really large amount of dice. So like if you
Yeah.
want to roll it physically well, you better have like 10 sets because you're just like
That is true.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a bit problematic, especially like like we made it simple for us. So we're like we have dice rollers, we have a spreadsheet to keep all the dice, keep them pinned through. So
Yeah, that
That's
definitely
a little
simplified
bit
things.
and also AOE attacks really mess with the balance. Like if
Yeah.
you can roll an AOE against 3 people, you pretty much tripling your output, which can swing the balance.
Yeah, you gotta, as a referee, I have to be very careful how many AoEs I throw at you guys, and that comes back to, as you said, you have a problem with, it's basically me shifting the narrative of, okay, well, do I want you guys to win this fight or not?
Yeah.
And it comes down to my decision, not a dice decision, not a your guys' decision,
Yeah.
not any of those kind of things, which is kind of crummy in
Yeah.
that regard.
So yeah, it's like you have to know what the outcome you want, and then you can like tailor everything to it. Like, if you want the PCs to get pummeled down, well, it's easy. Just throw 3 AoEs and like they're already. Also, similar like when the GM can make an NPC, sometimes you can really make it hyper focused on the current task at hand
Yeah.
with its stats, and that can go against PC that are a bit more generalist. Like in our art gallery.
Yes, I was just about to say.
scene, we had 2 very specialized NPC versus 2 general PCs, and we got pummeled.
Yeah.
Yeah, those NPCs were fucking specialized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's the problem of like if you have more people, you're winning. Like the next scene, we had the elephant versus 3 PCs
Yeah.
or 4 PCs.
Yeah, exactly.
3.
So it's very
That's where it'd be useful to have like other contestants have their dice pool, or make the buffet itself
Yeah.
a contest. Like each dish, it's like the spicy course for the eating contest has arrived.
And
the
that-
spicy course throws 3 10s at you.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much
No.
the GM having to tweak the outputs. Like, oh no, you can't win 3 turns. I want this to last 10s. Okay, let's start
Well,
strong.
I think that's more gauging difficulty than it is tweaking the
A
outcome.
little bit, yeah.
It's both. It is it was fun for what we wanted it to do.
Like, I'd still use this for getting a quick and dirty version of that monster game running, like, guaranteed, because it just it lets me do it without having to worry about other shit.
Yeah, no, as Devin says, the system in no way inhibits what you do, which is nice. It's
I guess it's a good generic system that doesn't have the baggage of like, oh, let's do it GURPS or
Right.
Savage Worlds, whereas hey, it's more combat focused. This is actual generic system where you can do anything in any setting.
Yeah.
Because you can make up any stats you want and so on and so on. So it is actually good in that regard.
Yeah.
But
what did you guys think of the setting?
Ravnica? It's Ravnica. Hey, you ran it really well, but it's like a Magic the Gathering setting. And
Yeah.
it's the coolest
No,
one, and I'm fairly lukewarm on it.
That's fair.
like,
It is the most interesting and cool, interconnected setting ever, and I'm just very lukewarm on it because it's Magic, it's Wizards of the Coast. It's like, oh, neat.
I would say that it could use a bit more magic. It's like, oh, I made a character that's focused on magic. I think, oh, I can take counter magic. This is really useful in the magic world because I can counter like a lot of things. Like, oh, no, I can't because we're fighting enemies that punch me. I can't counter spell punches.
Right?
That's fair. And that's on me a little bit as the
It's fine.
to throw different things at you guys and
Yeah, but like
Focus,
overall,
but-
I enjoyed the setting. It was pretty okay. I enjoyed what we did with the setting. I really enjoyed some of our adventures we had. Like, jeez, we were like, eventually we started like really getting into it, like being these weird cops out there, and finding enough like, oh, and vampire assassin that's in the secret guild of assassins is the least interesting character of the group.
Right? You were like a double agent Demir murder machine. You're like, oh, I'm really vanilla compared to these guys.
I'm also like an Aether vampire and so on. I was like, oh, and nope. I'm not half as interesting as the rest of you guys. Even Kevin coming in with his like, rat hobos.
monster.
His rat hobo.
Rat hobo comp.
Yep, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff you can do with it because it's like a D&D setting, so you just, throw a bunch of shit at the wall.
yeah. And that's like
I would have done way more Magic references. Like the original idea I had for a character in this game was to play a Phyrexian.
What's a Phyrexian, Devin?
Phyrexians, they're this fucking thing for Magic. They're like the Borg.
They're like
the fucking black goo from Prometheus or some shit.
meets like the bubonic plagues.
Yeah, it's this whole thing with Yawgmoth and Phyrexia, and nobody gives a shit.
I mean, yeah, if you went full hog and had a lot more magic research and so on, that could be a thing in itself, but not sure how much Ian wants to put up with that.
Yeah. And I mean that's
it would have been like heavy story stuff because how much of our personal backgrounds play into the story.
Yeah,
More flavor.
I wanted this to be more of just a fun romp, and I wanted just to lightly touch. Like this could have been set in New York, or it could have been set in like
Generic
Vancouver,
fantasy town,
or in generic
Present
fantasy
day
town,
Chicago.
Tomato, or Chicago.
Welcome to Nexus.
Or like it could have been like Toronto or Michigan or like literally anywhere.
Yeah.
And I wanted Ravnica because I like Ravnica,
Yeah,
and
read
I
the
thought
book.
it would throw allow me to throw some weird things here and there. And if we ever come back to it to do different things, we can do more things in it and more exciting things. But I wanted this to just be a more fun, because listeners, you won't know this, but we're currently running these sessions in kind of our quote-unquote downtime
Before the
between
next Exalted versus Wild season.
between like big games and big things, like when like Peter's gone on vacation a few times, I've gone on vacation a few times, Devin and Nicole have gone on vacation a few times. So this is kind of
yeah, we've all gone on vacation
Yeah.
since Exalted versus Wild season 1 ended.
So this has been kind of our just fun, relaxing, no mental stress game, and that's what I wanted to run.
Yeah.
And I think if I speak for myself, it turned out pretty good, and
I like this game.
worked for that. And I think listeners, if you've made it all the way through it, you'll hopefully have enjoyed, as Peter said, we got into it in a few episodes where it got pretty funny and Neat.
Yep.
X is illegal is a great
Retort.
fucking lord. Is that it though?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Oh yeah, I guess. Do we have any things we want to say about our characters at all? Any like stuff that didn't come up?
Not really.
I mean, I think we're playing our characters pretty straight as is.
Right? Like there wasn't much secrets. Like
But ooh,
I clearly ripped off from Kiryu.
my character had vampiric magic. I was thinking, ooh, maybe I'll sneak off and drain some people at some point. Nah, it doesn't matter.
So the background music has been music from Persona 4, right?
Yep.
Persona 4 came out 11 years ago.
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ. Someone who like grew up playing it like they were like 4 or 5 would be like a teenager now. They'd be like, I have fond memories of this. Like we have fond memories of SNES games.
Back in my day, we used to play Minecraft.
Right? Exactly. That exact fucking sentiment. Because 2008, 2009 is when Minecraft came out.
Yup.
No.
So they're like, oh yeah, that old game.
People
Play-
still play Minecraft a lot.
We just
You
started
know-
a server the other
Yeah,
Maybe
I was
something-
thinking of starting a server so like Steph and stuff could play with us.
I think so. They researched a little bit more recently, so
Yeah, because all the kids who were kids are now like teens and the young adults growing up.
they're
with
feeling
it now.
nostalgic for it.
Yeah, it's nostalgia now. Fucking lord. Anyway,
I was Ian.
Peter.
Devin.
And Nicole.
And this is sponsored by Nobody, signing off.